Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yours. Got lots of love, love. 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 Got lots of love, love.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Console Gaming League. My name is Joker. I'm here with Megalass, and we are here for the NA Open Grand Finals. We've got the Titans, the OWCS team, DhillDucks versus the Underdogs, YE Snowfall, looking to make an upset of the upsets here tonight, Megalass.
Absolutely, it's true. That's pretty much the storyline as it's going to be laid out for you. DhillDucks, quite literally one of the top 8 teams in the NA region right now, competing with the best of the best. YE Snowfall, they've been around the gaming league for so long, always edging closer and closer. This is their first time getting to be able to be in these grand finals, but they still have to get over the line, over the hump, and see to try to claim a victory here against DhillDucks to finally hoist that trophy.
We'll have to see, right? But obviously, we've had things happen today other than just this. We can take a look here at the schedule from today. Bum FC beating 0907 earlier today for the EU Open Grand Finals. Obviously, right now we have DhillDucks versus YE Snowfall happening for you on CGL1. And then at 10 o'clock, in about 2 hours' time, we've got Sort of Skilled versus Shoebill Nation. I believe the Masters finals for NA, and I believe that will be happening on CGL_2, unless this is a complete and utter stop and we're out of here before 10 o'clock.
Yeah, that is the plan. These are the last grand finals that have not been played. So, getting to end off season 15 with a bang, so to speak. 3 great grand finals back to back. If you missed that EU one, I got the pleasure of casting it. Let me just say, you did not want to miss it. It was absolutely insane to watch. But that was then. This is now with DhillDucks and Snowfall going up against each other. We'll get a quick look at our bracket, see how we ended up in this situation. It's about what you'd expect. DhillDucks not really struggling. That game 5 against Mental Institution, just ignore that one. Map 5's happened to the best of us. But Snowfall actually having to make a bit of a stint in the lower bracket after falling to Mental Institution, but getting their revenge in the end here, now putting themselves in this grand final situation.
Yeah, right. Haven't played about 3 games. Yeah, 3 games in the lower bracket there. Really turned it on in the end. Almost did go out in that losers round 4, though, that 5-map series against Retirement Home, putting them to the test. But from then on, right, Amplify, they get 3-1 by YE Snowfall, and then they go back and take Mental Institution out 3-1 as well when they got 3-0'd in the winner semifinals up there, right? So it seems kind of on a hot streak now. So maybe, just maybe, right, DhillDucks maybe not taking this as serious, right, as they have other things going on in their lives right now with OWCS. And maybe, just maybe, YE Snowfall can, in fact, get an upset just like that win over Amplify.
That's the hope, that's the dream here, but obviously it's a lot easier to say it than to do it here. We know how good this DhillDucks squad has been, and just the level that they can compete at. This squad, they're coming into this as the favor right now for a reason. Obviously, getting a look at their lineup, in case you somehow did not know, RZR and Juice on this DPS line, Chantosaur on tank, and then Fastest Car and Frothy Philly 7 bringing up the supports. Fun fact, for a BPL tournament, got to play with Frothy Philly. That player is absolutely ridiculous. He is always the one I want to watch out for on this team.
Obviously, right, we're missing a couple of mainstays from the normal DhillDucks roster, as PDK not technically on this roster here, so they're just a manager for the team. During this, Redx not playing as well, and then Boz, their tank player, also not currently in, but maybe they make a appearance later on down the line, just especially if they go down kind of early here. Maybe they want to bring that back and try to get that win. Take a look at their opponents here, though, tonight, with a fan favorite Milton on that DPS line, with Raven, Exial on that tank role, and then Blossom and Paradox here rounding it out on that support line, right? Really confident roster right now. We're playing with a ton of confidence They did not feel worried at all going against this DhillDucks roster. They feel really confident, and they think they definitely have a good chance tonight.
Yeah, most certainly, right? I mean, like we were saying, this is a team that's been around CGL for a while. Watching them climb, get closer and closer to this pinnacle. It's almost like a homegrown team, right? You've been watching them grow and just getting better with time here, but this is finally the top of the mountain here. Unfortunately, there is just a Goliath standing in your way, but one thing that Snowfall has never done is buckled in the face of adversity here. So I'm sure they're coming into this with a plan, ready to see how this one plays out.
I will have to see here. We've already got the maps to start things off here. We've got our first map of the evening all planned out and ready to go. Starting out here on Samoa in this 1-4 matchup, Megalas.
Yeah, we started on Samoa earlier in EU as well. Seems like these higher seeded teams love going to Samoa. You know, obviously the sort of exception, right? You've been seeing so much of like the Lijiang Tower and things like that as you go through these brackets. To have that little bit of a switch up right here at the end, maybe it's something more practice, but again, it's just that minor little curveball you could throw at somebody right at the start of a series just to figure out, hey, let's see if this trips you up, just to see how we're going.
Yeah, right. And we'll have to see what the decision making is behind these bans, right? From DhillDucks, from Snowfall. I know Milton really likes that Tracer, but so does Razor as well. So we'll have to see if that's going to be something that we look to see banned to start things off, or down the line, see if that Tracer makes a difference in this series. But DhillDucks, as the higher seed, get the first ban to start off our grand finals here.
Yeah, these bands, they're so unbelievably impactful. Like you said, being able to focus down maybe on somebody who's on a character and things like that. We saw that earlier today in EU. Golden Pants, known as a prolific ball player, certainly being the scrutiny of bans trying to disable the ball composition here. And it shows the level of adaptation teams need to be able to play at, right? You can't just rely on just 1 to 2 compositions. You have to be flexible in what you want to run, what you're capable of running at these super high levels. Of course, you know, this isn't a regular season matchup, right? These are two teams who are clearly the best in NA Open right now, so their flexibility should not be in question. Instead, it should just be, you know, what we will actually expect them to run.
We're going to see here, DhillDucks is going to be banning the Orisa out to start. Interesting, right? Obviously, you're on Samoa. You're going to probably be running more Brawl. Obviously, Zexiel, though, does like the Diva a little bit more, so maybe we see that from them tonight. But to start it off, obviously, I think we're going to see either some Malgar or Ramatra, since we have Orisa banned to start things off. Now we'll have to see what YE Snowfall has countered it out with, what they're going to try to ban in response.
Yeah, and normally you generally see some targeting of the support line, right? Generally, the two main support compositions you see are Kiri, Lucio, Juno, Brig. So hitting one support from either of those tends to force it to go the other way if you want a specific support matchup, and you get some opportunities to ban from both those characters, right? Because obviously they each need each other. It's not like you can just replace one with the other. It completely, fundamentally can change your backline here. So always being the scrutiny of bans, but Snowfall instead opting for the Ana. So no Ana Brig looks. That's generally where you'll see the Ana play here. And no anti-nade means it should be smooth sailing for anybody that wants to try to get aggressive.
Yeah, so I just assume it's interesting, right? Obviously it doesn't mean that we'll be seeing any Winston or something along those lines. Wasn't really expecting that on Samoa, but still, like you said, it will stop that play style of, you know, getting those anti-nades and then going in, diving onto the enemy squad. So it'll kind of nerf the Tracer if the Ana was in the back pocket of DhillDucks, but for right now, we'll have to wait and see what how these compositions turn out to be.
Yeah, and it's just going to be that matter of time to figure out exactly what these teams want to run here. Obviously, they could go very standard, either the Malga or the Ramatra. duel it out in a very brawl-centric style here. Of course, across all 3 points of Samoa, it's not like these other control maps where there's necessarily like, oh, here's like a dive sub map, here's a map where you can run this specific composition. No, Samoa's pretty linear across all 3 points. You don't have to flex your compositions around too much to meet what the map is offering you in terms of verticality and positioning. So this is actually kind of just a fairly level playing ground, I feel like, between these two teams, where it should just be their raw skill matching up against each other, and whoever comes out ahead is going to have a big mental boost, as well as obviously that first map on the board.
As we load into Samoa, looks like we're starting out on Volcano here. And, well, look at that. Zexiel already hovering over the Diva to start us off tonight. See if that continues. And there's Milton on that trace as well. But we're about to find out and see how things go in, as we're going to be loading right into the game as the doors have opened.
Yeah, the doors have opened here, so these comps are indeed real. The Cassidy Genji is certainly a different look here. The Cassidy a little bit more sustainable than a Sojourn, but overall, it's going to be an interesting look for whenever this Ramontra decides to pop that Nemesis form and walk forward.
We're already going to see Raven trying to get some tracks in already, but well, not going to be able to do anything quite just yet. DhillDucks still holding it out at the moment. Rotating around now. The DhillDucks are looking to get in onto the point, and now they are going to be able to do so as they're forcing him out. Ravenous Vortex locks down Zexiel, and they're going to get taken down out of mech to start it off. The fastest car is going to be the first person to go. Point is going to go to DhillDucks, though, to start things off.
Starts off, you are missing that Lucio, but fastest car is going to be the fastest one back to the point as well, especially when Paradox decides to go down late in the fight there. So now it is just going to be a regroup effort. Snowfall is going to be playing with the Malga composition now, though, instead of the Diva. Just going to be trying to burst down this Ramontra. Is probably going to be the main goal here.
As Milton currently trying to harass backline. Zexiel made the swap over to the Malga now, more traditional for these for the meta at the moment, bringing it back in. Shantasaur has already found Paradox yet again. That was the go sign for DhillDucks to go in yet again, try to get some aggressive picks and try to take them out, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to. But maybe not, as now they've found Zexiel out, and now they got Cardiac Overdrive looking in. There's the Nemesis form out from Shantasaur, backing up for the moment. Still waiting it out, trying to get back into the good graces of this point is YE Snowfall, the Deadeye coming through from Juice, looking to start it off, and Milton in the back trying to stay alive, trying to get away from the Deadeye, able to do so. The Flash not going to find them either. Blossom still goes down nonetheless as Razor finds that opening pick yet again for DhillDucks to keep things going their way. Pulse Bomb stick out, not going to find anyone though. Milton still trying to find it out as now the rally takes them down. Juice is on the loose as they're going to find a couple of picks there, and that's going to keep things going in DhillDucks' favor.
Yeah, I mean, that's 3 for the break. Absolutely incredible rally timing there in that fight. Heading on into the next one, you're going to see this Annihilation Blade combination. Playing in the orbital is going to be the best chance Snowfall has to try to lift this one.
As now comes in, Paradox is found. Juice, and now the opening comes through. Torpedoes are away, and there's the orbital ray in as well to come through to seal the deal. Take the point up to 91% though for DhillDucks' last fight territory if they take this next fight.
Yeah, and Paradox, whether he realizes it or not, they have the biggest problem in front of them right now. Building a sound barrier in time to respond to either a Blade or an Annihilation, potentially both here. It seems like they've been able to poke this out long enough that Paradox should have this for whenever the fight starts out.
Already looking to start off. Paradox has that sound barrier up available to go, and there it comes out online. Stunned up, Zexiel trying to take him down. Cage fight out, and now you can be able to hold down as Chantosaur is all alone, taken down. Not going to be able to get that cage fight down before they are felled. Frothy Philly goes and falls. Milton's in the back line, taken down too. And DhillDucks are now back to spawn yet again. YE Snowfall chaining some nice fights together.
Some nice fights together, but again, DhillDucks, they held onto their ultimates through that one, right? The sound barrier was just forced from raw Ramontra damage. So now this Dragon Blade as well as the Annihilation are both going to be coming in uncontested here. Milton can come up massively with a clutch pick here, and does just that.
Indeed they do. Fastest car already down. Yeah, again going for a ride back to spawn. Pulse bomb out. Still Dragon Blade available. The Annihilation's going to come in to start it off now. The Dragon Blade out as well to try to take them down. But Razor is taken for a ride. Yeah, again back to spawn. The picks are coming through. Yeah, through from YE Snowfall. Chances are not going to be able to find any real good value with that Annihilation, as this is quickly turning to YE Snowfall's favor.
Yeah, they weathered the storm. They got out the Annihilation in Dragon Blade with only one casualty there. Now, looking into this next fight, they are going to be trying to build up their own Orbital and Overclock to try to match what DhillDucks is coming into the fight with here. But DhillDucks, if they play this fast enough, is just not going to give them the opportunity. So Raven might have to try to come up clutch with another hit railgun.
Here, Juice has the Overclock to start us off. Will it be enough? Overclock coming in now. Here, rotating away, though, is YE Snowfall. That's going to give free progress to the point. Well, not for much longer, as it is going to be contested out. Point flips over now. Juice is down. Rally, Orbital Ray coming through. Is it going to be enough to stabilize? Now, Rally, Ray in from Blossom. They've already lost two, with Overclock in from Raven. Is it going to be enough? Can they find the picks they need? Another pick comes through, and Milton has Pulse Bomb available. Can they land a stick? Can they take someone down with it? Still, Recall comes in. They're still alive. Chantosaur is about to go down. They're going to take, and Milton takes down Juice. Cage fight in as well. Swifting the point back over to YE Snowfall's favor, and this might just be it. And they're about to take a 1-0 lead on Samoa.
Considering how that started for YE Snowfall, you have to imagine how happy they are. Considering everything they were up against there, they were able to make DhillDucks falter and hesitate in so many of those situations where DhillDucks easily could have just sort of held down their W keys, use that speed boost to get into the fight, and just sort of won it outright. But no, the pressure was there from the side, and yeah, these stats are telling you everything. Milton on the Tracer, 18-1 in terms of eliminations, most damage in the lobby as a Tracer. That's just a disgusting power dynamic right there.
Milton's gross. That's crazy. This is why I was talking about banning the Tracer, right? Milton is so good on it, but if you ban it for one map, you can't ban it for the rest, so maybe they're saving it for a do-or-die moment. We'll have to find out, though, because Chantosaur's made the swap over to the Junker Queen. We'll see if that's going to help them out in the long run, or if they get flattened yet again by YE Snowfall. As now, they've already lost Juice yet again. Milton's on the hunt. They found out a pick on the Paradox, though, but another pick comes through the way, and this still looks like YE Snowfall are going to come out on top and take this first fight, take first control of Village.
Yeah, DhillDucks, again, they're hesitating. They had all the momentum with the double speed boost that they can provide between the Lucio as well as the Junker Queen shout to sort of be able to get in there and engage, but they're being zoned out by Zetseal on the Malga here, so now it's just allowing Milton, again, to run free on this Tracer, be a thorn in the backline the entire time these fights are going on.
This fastest car finds an opening pick, finds Milton out to start it off. Now that's going to give an opening for DhillDucks to rock in onto this point and take control back here. Maybe we get a last second contest from YE Snowfall, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
No, it is not here. It's just going to be a casual flip. YE Snowfall knows they don't want to fight this without the superstar present here. Now trying to pull forward, but I think the Junker Queen might have bit off more than they could chew.
To be able to get the healing that they need to stay alive. Now Chantosaur might be able to try to hold this on, as they're going to be able to use this Kitsune Rush, take down Juice though, but they lose Zetseal nonetheless, so now you have your front line gone, and now Chantosaur can run wild in their back line, as DhillDucks are going to be able to keep this hold going and looking to overtake the lead here now on Village.
And they're just trying to continue this sort of setup, right? Being able to play fast, get the poke onto the Malga before Zetseal can really get in anywhere, and just make it so that Cardiac Overdrive, once it's wasted, you can really just blow up this massive target that, you know, Malga ends up being here. A lot of ultimates coming into this fight. Hopefully neither team has to expend a lot.
Pulse Bomb, our Dragon Blade in, Orbital Ray out as well. Sound Mirror comes through too, both sides, but Paradox is the one to go down first and foremost. Now a cage fight comes in, you lose Chantosaur, but maybe that's all you find with that ultimate, and it is going to be the case. So now you're going to try to force out the point. Juice is super low. Milton going to be able to find that kill onto him, but they trade it with their life. The dash through from Razor seals the deals, keeps the point going to DhillDucks.
Yeah, and DhillDucks came out of that with an positive ult trade as well here, right? They only have to end up using the blade and the sound barrier in that fight, whereas they got both support ultimates and the cage fight out. Now it's just the pulse bomb and Raven's overclock here. Dueling overclocks is going to be the name of this fight.
Gonna come into this next fight, and Frothy Phillies already found Raven out of this fight, and that's a huge opening, getting things going. They're gonna have to lose that overclock that they had available. Middleton is still alive and well. 3 kills have come in from the Tracer of YE Snowfall. Can they make it more? Paradox is gonna get in on that kill feed as well, and there it goes. Back into their favor, 30% and counting, but up to 97. Go DhillDucks.
I mean, Milton just absolutely pulled that one out of the fire. There's no other ways to put it there. And, you know, again, this Tracer unfortunately overstays their welcome. And so now, YE Snowfall, they're going to have to potentially wait, hide back, and give so much space that's going to allow Chanticleer to come into this one with a massive rampage.
Overclock coming in, and you're already in the front line. Raven's down. Juice is going to try to stay alive, and they are going to be able to do so. Now that Rampage is going to find some good value. Paradox down. Blossom at a sliver of HP. They're going to try to stay alive, but fastest car is going to be the one to fall. Zexiel is going to go down too, and it's all tied up in a second here when Milton falls, as it should happen now. Indeed, it does, as overtime ticks away. It's all tied up on Samoa.
Yeah. And I mean, it seems as though, again, we talk about that adaptation, that level that you need to be at to compete in matches like this. DhillDucks, they see the issues that they were running into on the Ramatra before they make the swap over to the Queen, as well as just a more survivable style of play, right? Being able to take a bit of a poke phase and then knowing when your opportunities were to get in there and finally secure and clean up some of these kills. Still obviously having a bit of trouble with Milton, but overall, it seems like they're being able to mitigate that pressure a little bit better now that they're putting more pressure on the rest of the team.
Yeah, only about 3,500 damage from Milton there after a 6K. You'll take that. You'll take that. You kept Milton in check, and now we'll have to see if they can do it yet again here on City Center of to seal this up and take a 1-0 series lead. But right now, YE Snowfall are definitely throwing up, and then we'll have to see if they can keep it going their way. They're already on the point here, forcing positioning for DhillDucks, and we'll see if they have to rotate onto the point here. 2 more seconds to go, and then they'll be unlocked, and now have to force an engagement on the point. Milton in the back line looking for something. This Juice is going to take it up, and there's going to be the go sign for the rest of the DhillDucks after coming through, and there's a nice flash taking down Milton. Fastest car, that was the one to get all the kills in that, as DhillDucks are going to take the team kill and the lead.
Yeah, and I mean, look at this, right? DhillDucks, even though they won the last round, they didn't rest on their laurels. They're still finding adaptations, things that work. Maybe not that one fastest car, but it's okay. You're a Lucio. You'll be back from spawn rather quickly here, but this does provide an opening for Snowfall to start walking forward here.
It does indeed. We'll have to see if they can make a, losing Milton like that is just not what you wanted to see. The trade is back though, Raven down for the count, but still, DhillDucks can have a hold on to this, but Raven coming alive with those shots from that railgun, taking them down. Paradox is going to get traded out, but it's still looking good for YE Snowfall to come in control, but you're going to invest Kitsune Rush here. Chanticleer trying to stay alive in this fight, might be able to, but not going to any longer. Is that's going to be kind of a waste of the Kitsune Rush. You're going to buy time. You're going to get up to about 50-something% here, but unless you can find a pick, which it doesn't seem like it's going to be possible right now for DhillDucks, there's just no way to turn this back into your favor after investing those heavy ultas. Zexiel is going to find 2.
I mean, yeah, they technically got a lot more percentage out of it, which is nice, but yeah, like you were talking about, they just end up investing both the Kitsune Rush and the Deadeye there, not really getting much value either of them besides some more ult percentage. Meanwhile, Snowfall didn't have to throw anything into that fight here, now approaching that 5 checkmark superiority that most teams love to be at. The key thing for Snowfall here is just not going to be wasting everything, probably mainly holding on to the Suzu here to counter out the Rampage.
We'll find out in a second how things are going for them. Well, they've got everything that they need, right? YE Snowfall are sitting well. But, well, they needed to string some fights wins together, as now they're already in the back line here. The Cypher already found two. Cage Fight is going to come through. He might be able to stave off this. The Soundwave is going to come through. Orbital Ray invested in to the Cage Fight. Point is going to flip over, and you've only find Shantasaur and Fastest Car thanks to that Ray. Still, DhillDucks have definitely an opportunity to keep this hold going in their favor, especially if you can find this pick onto Zexiel. They're still waiting it out. Kitsune Rush now coming back in, and Paradox is trying to get them back into the driver's seat. Dragon Blade comes through, Blossoms down. Still, is it going to be enough? Razor, another pick coming in, and Milton is down for the count. Now, respawns are coming back. Fastest Car and Shantasaur back on the point. You have the Rampage available, but you're going to be running for the hills if you're Zexiel.
Yeah, especially with how late it is, already 90% built up, but unfortunately that Malga is going to be found out here. So if Snowfall are going to get back into this point, it's going to be desperation touches, but Milton's recall's already forced.
Not what you want, not what you want at all. Overclock though gonna come in, Rampage in, and Raven finds Fastest Car, but there's those, they go down afterwards. In quick successions, there's gonna be the Kitsune Rush in from Frothy Philly. That should wrap everything up with Zexiel falling. It is just the Lucio of Paradox left, in the overtime bar gonna be ticking away. Blossom's the last one to go, and DhillDucks take map number 1.
They take their map pick of Samoa. Always great to start off a series like this with that first map, the advantage your way now. But again, it is always something to consider. It could just be a drop in the bucket. We have a potential 6 more maps we could be going here. But overall, you know, outside of this Volcano round where it was an impressive comeback on the side of YE Snowfall, really, it seemed like DhillDucks, they had the answers coming through for what was going to be in this matchup for them so far.
Yeah, they're looking really good. 2-1 to start it off. But obviously, YE Snowfall took them at a little surprise from DhillDucks, right? Taking that first round of Samoa. They weren't probably expecting this adversity to start us off in this series already. So, I mean, YE Snowfalls are already putting up a good fight. We'll see if that can continue with their map choice, wherever that may be.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. They have the map choice. They can pick truly anywhere to go to next besides a control map, but anything else in the pool is more than happily ready available for them. And we have to think, right? Snowfall, they're known for piloting the comps like the Diva here, so you have to imagine they may be more comfortable on some of these dive favored maps. Things like Watchpoint Gibraltar come to mind here, so maybe we could be seeing a lean in that sort of direction where we're going to see more of a forced dive style. But DhillDucks on the other side, you know, we don't know how comfortable they truly can be on the dive, right? That's something where they could easily have it in their wheelhouse as well here. So to rely on that for Snowfall is probably not going to be the best answer.
Well, looks like we have a role change coming in from DhillDucks as Fastest Car and Juice are switching roles. Interestingly enough, as take a look at that there, right? Switching out. Fastest Car is a flex player, so kind of makes sense that they're going into a DPS role, but Juice going on to support. I don't know, maybe they're the goated Ana or something like that, and that's why the Ana was banned. But we'll have to see what that entails as we get in. We already got the map choice coming through as well to take a look at here, Megalas.
Yeah, Blizzard World coming through here, so maybe this swap up something that is specific to these hybrid maps that allow, you know, Fastest Car to maybe be a little bit of a difference maker. We saw how aggressive they like to get on the Lucio here, so certainly could be a play here, but ultimately it's not really sure how that's going to work out. Going into Blizzard World, I am expecting this Diva style to sort of be overbearing, right? It's what I expect from Snowfall here. But that being said, you know, in terms of bans and things like that, DhillDucks could easily just take the air out from their sails, as it were, and just take out the Diva or potentially even the Tracer, because we saw how much work Milton was putting in a lot of those fights.
Yeah, maybe we just see like a protect coming in from YE Snowfall as well, and then getting rid of And then we'll have to see how they take this, right? Um, but we'll find out in about 20 seconds. I am interested to see what they decide to do. Like you're saying, they want to play that diva, so maybe just going with, oh, okay, it's going to be a Winston ban. I was going to say maybe just banning like a Roadhog or a Doomfist, right? And then just protecting it. But they ban the Winston, so they get rid of a counter and then get that diva into that forefront.
Yeah, and I mean it's exactly what you expect, right? Being able to have that little bit of protection there to make sure that you can play the diva front and center here, taking the Winston out of the pool here. But now DhillDucks, they have the complete control anywhere else, right? Obviously, we talk about the targeting onto the Tracer here, but you have, again, some backlines that you can certainly target, right? If you're more comfortable in the Kiri Lucio, you could then be like, hey, let's just take Juno out of the equation, right? We saw how much Kiri Lucio on that first map DhillDucks was playing and getting away with. To certainly force a swap on the backline here, even if you're on your more comfortable tank, it could make it all the difference here for a Snowfall. But ultimately, DhillDucks are going to decide to, ban the Tracer. Makes sense. Milton was doing far too much.
Yeah, right. You're just getting rid of something that was a nuisance and making hopefully that diva composition just that less strong too. But now, well, we're gonna have to find out where we go. We already know where we're going, but what we're going to see where we head in when we head in to Blizzard World, right? And then from there, well, the game has to be played.
Yeah, and that's always the thing. The game has to be played, right? All this speculation, this analysis we can do here, it doesn't matter. What happens in the server is what truly matters here. I am sure Snowfall has plans for when the Tracer gets banned and things like that. And even if they don't, even if this goes tragically out of the way, then guess what? You're only down 2 maps. There's still plenty of time and things to work with here for the rest of the matchup. But that being said, DhillDucks, I'm interested to see how this swap is going to work, because you're swapping out a hit scan player. Like, with the aggression I was seeing from Fastest Car on Lucio, I was like, oh, this is somebody who could easily play projectile characters. But Razor is still in the lineup here, so unless you're going for some sort of double flex option, I would be very interested to see how this is going to go.
Yeah, obviously, Amadou is just known as a flex player, right? They can play the... Oh, God, it's that one guy again. The founder of Blizzard, I think, or one of the... But well, that's okay. So Fastest Car, they're a flex player. They're going to be able to play everything out. Obviously, they like to play a little bit of Pharah, but favorite hero is still Widowmaker. So they have to be able to play a little bit of hit scan if they play Widowmaker, right? So going to be coming out on the Sojourn now for DhillDucks. With YE Snowfall, actually, DhillDucks are going to be the ones that opted to attack first here.
Yeah, DhillDucks, I guess, just wanted the attack here. The Teleporter Widow, it's a classic. You just go, you see if you can get a cheeky shot, and if you can't, then you just back up. But they now are well aware there's a Sombra in play here. Milton, unfortunately, not too sneaky, and potentially going to be caught out here way deep in enemy territory. This could be dangerous with the invisibility wearing off time and again.
Yeah, and getting detected too. They're going to be able to get away, but just barely, right? Virus is going to come out though, so Enchantosaur might be able to take down Milton. Gets pretty low, but the picks up might come in. Still somehow alive. Paradox finally goes down. Raven is going to find that turn on the Juice, as Enchantosaur was in Narnia there. They're going to get taken for a ride, and YE Snowfall are going to be able to hold onto this thanks to Blossom's 2K there.
Yeah, I mean, massive from the Juno player here, but again, like DhillDucks, there was almost a drunk level of confidence there. They sort of just careened into the backline. You saw how deep Enchantosaur was going. You would think that Orisa got a Rhine pin when we weren't looking, but no, that's just sort of the natural progression of the fight, going that deep into it. Now, it is going to, again, be this Sombra, seeing how it plays out against the rest of this composition here, because the Sombra doesn't want to play necessarily all too fast.
Yeah, as Razor's gonna get super low, but the Sombra Milton's gonna go down early on. That's not what you wanted to see. Fastest card is gonna have to slide away. Stay alive, and Paradox now down for the count 2. And another pick comes through from Shantasaur, and that should take this first point going to DhillDucks.
Yeah, this will finally be a unlocking here. Shantasaur maybe going a little bit deep, but actually should get this one on the Zexiel in the end here. Absolutely massive for this Snowball to start up here. But DhillDucks, again, they're just sort of being able to play the way that they want to right now. Just a super hyper aggression, and Snowfall hasn't really found a way to match it just yet. It's not really a character thing, it's a playstyle adaptation that needs to be made.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if that continues. They've already found fastest car, right? So you are going to get revealed for a moment. Milton's still going to be on that look for an opportunity for this EMP. They're still being marked out. They're known. It is known where Milton currently is. Going to be going invisible into the backline. Have a perfect opportunity as the EMP, and it's going to be a perfect one. Is Juice and Foppy Philly taken down. Overclock comes in from fastest car to try to turn the tide of this fight, but it's just not going to happen as Milton finds them out. Another one going to fall in a second. Razor back to spawn kill.
Yeah, and with that spawn kill, again, it's a good defensive positioning here that Snowfall is taking, right? Being able to use this natural massive choke point, it's going to funnel DhillDucks in a very specific way here. Tons of ultimates for both squads coming into this next fight. You're probably going to be looking mostly to Juice's sound barrier to be able to keep everybody alive and sustained on the side of DhillDucks for whenever this starts.
So next we're going to figure this out. Terra Surge available. Kitsune Rush is going to be the one to go forward here, but a rush onto cart, not something you're expecting there as Milton's taken out of stealth down to count. And now, well, DhillDucks can be a little bit more advantageous, right? As you're not going to be worried about getting hacked, virused up, and now Paradox is going to go as well back to spawn here. And, well, DhillDucks are going to get some cart progress going.
Getting the cart moving here, when again not having to expend all too much, but Raven getting even that pick there is going to allow the defense to come right back in.
Really is. Frosty Philly no longer going to be on the point, and now Virus is going to take care of Razor, and that should allow fully for YE Snowfall to take back this point as fastest car going to get taken down too. And well, YE Snowfall back in control.
Back in control, but they do have to be a little bit wary. That payload so close to the end, all it takes is a Genji or a Lucio getting a little bit sneaky, getting back there. They are going to try to hold this choke point again here, at least for the time being. Milton, again, might be overstaying their welcome here. 10 HP to their name, is able to get out, but the safety is unfortunately the enemy spawn door.
Now they're coming in. Terra Surge out, and that should open things up as well. Shantasaur drops their own. Orbital Ray in from Blossom, though. Not going to be able to find the value you're hoping for. Able to stave him off as Milton, though, takes down Frosty Philly. And now, well, you're going to be able to go in off the back of that overclock, finding two. And Raven shutting the door yet again on a DhillDucks push.
Oh my goodness, some of those shots were filthy. Like, Sojourner players are just so great with the railgun. They're able to land those shots here. Looking to the next fight, you're going to see fastest car get to take a crack at it with the overclock here, as well as a Dragon Blade if Razor decides to pop it on the other side, though. Just Milton's EMP to try to shut down whatever push ends up coming through.
We'll find out in a second what they decide to do. They've got to be able to get things going their way. About to be under a minute. Kitsune Rush is going to be the one to start it off from Frothy Philly. Now with the EMPs in response, Milton's going to lock down some people, but they aren't going to find the kills that they were hoping for. Now Dragon Blade into the back line. You're going to be able to take down Raven, but you get that trade back immediately, but now you've lost your Orisa, right? So you're sitting kind of well if you're DhillDucks at the moment. You just need to be able to find another kill. The Juice is still alive and well, pumping those heals as fast as they can. But now, oh no, Shantasaur is gonna fall, and it was so close to the end. Milton staying alive and well and finding the picks that YE Snowfall need to hold on to the point yet again.
Yeah, they're holding on through the skin of just the absolute craziest inches here. Though, oh my goodness, this little pick on the Frothy here now means, again, look at the aggression. Snowfall coming forward on their defense with only 9 seconds left. Can anybody make it to the payload?
Juice is gonna try to get there, and but they won't be able to. They get taken down. Blossom finds that kill, and that's the stop coming in from YE Snowfall with round 1 completing. So close to the end, but close as only matters in horseshoes and hand grenades here. Megalassa now. YE Snowfall are setting themselves up well for this next this to win this map.
Yeah, this is a great look so far for Snowfall here. You would think that, again, going to Blizzard World, where you're expecting a lot of dive and things of that nature here, but no diva in sight. Instead, being able to match on the Orisa comp, and again, looking at these stat lines here, it's crazy to say, just like, how does Milton get that many eliminations? Like, it's just ridiculous, the value this Sombra was getting. So many times as well, Milton's having to just live on like a knife's edge in terms of HP, constantly surrounded by the enemy, and somehow not dying for it every single time. That's a feat in and of itself.
It really is. It really is indeed. Is now, right? They have their sights set on a tied series. Can DhillDucks lock it down, though, is the real question. Keep their lead in the series, making some changes. Is Razor going over to the Torb as well, with Frothy Philly pulling out the Baptiste here. See if that's going to help them in the long run. We'll only have to find out as they're about to load through as a unfortunate teleporter came in from Milton.
Yeah, the biggest misplay Milton's had all day, I'd say. It was the misplacing of the teleporter. But actually, DhillDucks, very interesting on this defense. The Torb Cassidy, this is going to shut down the Sombra harder than anything else here. So we'll have to see how this approach goes.
We've already lost fastest car, though, so it's doesn't look like that's going to master for the moment. But, well, it could change if you find an opening pick if you are DhillDucks, but you've now lost Juice as well as Frothy Philly. So this is going to be a drastic, very quick, very nice opening for YE Snowfall to take first point.
Yeah, and so absolutely quick as you like here for Snowfall, just being able to blitz through. Now DhillDucks have a question of how they're going to try to set up a defense here. It's good to get that pick onto Milton here. It does mean that you can probably set up and start holding this choke, but you have to do a little bit more than just holding this choke and hoping that nobody pushes through.
Is now, we'll see here as Razor's made that swap over to the Pharah. It's going to be up to Raven to keep them in check, and sometimes Milton too, but they're going to be taking a ride back to spawn for the time being. We're going to have to drop down for a minute, though, get some healing, and now you've got a nice opportunity to buy some time here, take some time off the clock with this this hold, and you're gonna find Zexiel out already in the middle of their Terra Swords too, thanks to his amplification matrix. Gonna try to take this high ground away, though. Frothy Philly out for the time, still trying to hold on, not gonna be able to find that kill on the Paradox. Juices, though, with that whip shot taking him down in the backline. Milton trying to take out Juice. They're gonna stay alive, though, thankfully for DhillDucks.
Yeah, but in all the chaos, the payload has started moving forward. It's breached past the choke here. So now, not able to hold that great defensive choke is DhillDucks here. And now with Razor losing their life, it's going to be incredibly difficult.
It's going to be difficult since Zexiel's made that swap over to the Diva to try to counter out the Pharah as well. Fastest car popping the overclock here. Terra Surge in. You've already lost them down, but Blossom and Raven are so low. We're not going to be able to find those kills. They finally get them, but you've already lost so many. Is it going to be enough to rally out from them? And Paradox is back. Razor is back, and they've taken them down, but they're quickly sent back to spawn. Is now EMPs available to seal this, could seal this point map.
It could indeed here. Milton lurking in the backlines. I'm sure DhillDucks is aware of it, but realistically, there's not a whole lot they can do. Their best play right now is Frothy Philly cannot be in EMP range and has that immortality field to deliver for whenever it ends up coming through here, because this EMP and overclock combo that Snowfall has should be lights out.
Milton's fully in the back line there, but you've already lost Blossom. Razor's going to get super low. You've already just going to try to take down Frothy Philly just by themselves, but Milton not going to be able to do that. Has to reset yet again, and that's going to buy more time for DhillDucks.
And those picks were so crucial, right? You saw it there on screen. Frothy Philly ends up getting the Immortality Field Force there. That would have been the fight right then and there, but thankfully DhillDucks, these DPS, they come in clutch when needed to. And so now they just have to do that again and again for about 3 more minutes.
Is it going to be possible though, right? They have to deal with this EMP. It's all on that right now. YE Snowfall could finish it off with good value, but a nice shot. Frothy Philly takes him down, and that's going to buy more time for DhillDucks.
More and more time, and now DhillDucks, who went from having nothing in the bank, they now have an amplification matrix to work with. They're gonna have a Terra Surge, their own EMP not far off. Raven getting that pick though, that's going to be massive here. You need to be able to stay alive, Raven. That way Snowfall has the earlier regroup here, and they should be able to assault this high ground.
Good thing is, right, you're going to be able to get back. And now there's going to be the Amp Matrix out. Overclock comes in from Raven too. They're going to be bottled up for the moment. And they're not going to be able to find the value that you're hoping for. Frostingfield's not going to find much with that Amp Matrix. Razor's about to have their own EMP online. Now you're still catching Milton out for the moment. The Razors fall and Terra Surge in. Paradox is going to go down now with a rally, trying to stabilize on cart for DhillDucks, and it's going to help them as Raven gets taken down. A shot to Chow, fastest car goes, and now in that is DhillDucks going to hold up.
Yeah, and I mean, DhillDucks, they're turning this defense into something amazing right now, considering how it was starting about 2 minutes ago. It's turned around completely on its head. Now the dueling EMPs, who's ever's going to be able to find more value, and I hate to break it to you, Snowfall stacking in a beautiful way.
EMP coming in, and Razor's gonna land a couple out of it. There's gonna be the self-destruct to get back into the fight, but you've already lost so many, and you might get staggered out here if you are Zexiel. They're trying to get back to spawn. They're so very low. Are they going to be able to do it? No, they don't. They're gonna have to reset or change. Yeah, they're gonna just swap over to the Orisa instead.
Swapping over to the Orisa and staying on it here, so not really worried about mitigating the Sombra now. The advantage is you've gone through a lot of DhillDucks ultimates. The only thing you have to worry about is this overclock now. You have Orbital Ray, Kitsune, and Milton. You've had this EMP for 3 minutes now. It's got to be now or never to make this thing worth with only 30 seconds left on the clock.
We don't find value, right? It's going to be the what-if story. As now Milton finally comes in. Now the Orbital Ray is going to come online with the Kitsune rush, and now Chantosaur falling the wayside. And this has to be where YE Snowfall take this map, or it's going to not. It's going to be bad news. So now you've made the swap over to the Doomfist to get back to the point. Amp Matrix is going to try to buy some time, buy some healing. As now you're back onto the point with the Doomfist. Now on to 30 seconds to go, and Milton's down. Overclock in from Raven, but you can just play the sightlines with it. As you're gonna look to take him. Frothy Philly running away. There's gonna be the Matrix. No one touch, and the victory comes in from DhillDucks 2-0 going the series.
I mean, Snowfall, that was in the palm of their hands 3.5 minutes ago. That was theirs to lose completely. They had it all set up. It was all checked. They had every ultimate they needed. They had the positioning. They simply just had to walk forward and click their ultimate. Time and time again, DhillDucks came up clutch. And, you know, you asked, is it possible to do this for 3.5 minutes straight? And there's your answer. DhillDucks absolutely clawing that one back from nothing in such a bizarre fashion, leaves Snowfall just feeling like just such a bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah, and I think the biggest, and like I said in that map, the what if of that series, or what of that map is, what if they use their EMP? In that time, they had 3 minutes and 30 seconds to use that EMP, and they held it on to the last fight. And it ends up burning them because they can't finish it and confirm all the kills necessary to win that map.
I mean, yeah, not being able to confirm those kills, like, again, that's just such a bitter feeling, because that map, it truly felt won for Snowfall here, and DhillDucks played amazingly, and to get that map win, obviously you're up 2-0 now. But also you have to keep in mind the ramifications in terms of the mental game, right? Snowfall now has to wonder, if this is actually possible for them, if they can actually overcome this hurdle when they were so close right there and they just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. We're going to head to a short little break, maybe get some resetting of the mentals, and, well, see if they can turn the tide of this series. We'll come back right after this break for more NA Open Grand Finals.
You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
Welcome back, everyone. We are already 2 maps into this series, and DhillDucks already have a somewhat commanding lead, 2-0 over YE Snowfall. But that's not to say that YE Snowfall has not had their chances. They just need to be able to execute in the clutch. We'll see if they can with another map choice coming their way.
Yeah, and again, Snowfall has this opportunity laid out before them to sort of do what they want here. Now that they've gotten that Tracer ban out of the way, yeah, Melton's going to be a lot more free to sort of run around on that favorite hero pick and be the menace that we know them to be here. But Dorado's going to be the name of the game. And so this should hopefully open things up for a whole slew of dive compositions, right? You're expecting the D.Va, the Winstons, everything of that nature to be able to assault these high grounds, take the positioning, and really make it work.
Wait a second. Wait a second here, everyone. Dorado's not in the map pool. So
Wait,
we're not
it's
going
not?
to Dorado. We're not going to Dorado.
We quite literally played Dorado for grand finals earlier.
Well, that's not good. Now is it?
Hey, thankfully that's why we have Headrammer. That any admin questions, ask that guy. That's not my problem. I just get paid to talk about the game. That's interesting. I'm completely thrown for a loop. I don't know what to say here.
Yeah, well, it's Route 66 now instead. So we'll have to see. It means, well, I would have assumed if the change would have been to something like Watchpoint Gibraltar, which is in our map pool. But obviously, Winston's just so much better than the D.Va on that map, and now you can't ban the Winston if you're YE Snowfall, right? So you're gonna probably go over to something a little bit more kinder to the D.Va. And even if you don't want to play that D.Va, you can still play other compositions, not just dive. And we'll have to see how these bans turn out in from YE Snowfall, right? Obviously, like I said, you can't ban the Winston anymore. So, do we see a tank protect here again to keep that D.Va in available, or do we go somewhere else and get rid of something, say like that Brigitte that was kind of a nuisance in that series in that last map?
I mean, yeah, there's a few different options. Again, like, interestingly enough, we haven't seen that many support bans, but support bans are normally the target of the hero banning phase because it can change the game so dynamically in terms of the compositions you can run. I would honestly like to see another tank ban though, just to make sure that the D.Va is protected here. But no, it is going to be the Brig ban. You hit the nail on the head. Hey, listen, it seems like you just had the crystal ball.
I didn't even cheat. I didn't even look. I just guessed that right off the top of my own noggin there. That's just the caster diff, As now we're going to see what DhillDucks decide to go with. I'm interested if the decision is going to be that the banning of the D.Va to get rid of that force, them to stay on that Orisa, or something along those lines, or go to that Winston, which Zexiel isn't as comfortable on. Or we just see a ban of like the Sombra or something, even though it didn't really turn out to bite them in the end. It's going to find out here in about 10 seconds, maybe less.
Yeah, we just have to simply wait and see here as, it's just, again, it's going to be seeing how DhillDucks wants to do this. And yeah, if the D.Va ban comes through, this is going to be certainly a thorn in the side of Snowfall here, who, you're running out of room to give, right? You lose this map, DhillDucks going to find themselves on match point here. So you're going to have to find a way in the face of this adversity without one of your best picks to try to, come away with the victory here. It's obviously going to be difficult, but Snowfall, you have to start digging your heels in now, because a reverse sweep, while possible, it's never the position you want to play from.
You definitely don't. You don't indeed. We'll have to find out if Well, YE Snowfall can turn things around, take a 2-1 series, or are they going to be are they going to have their backs against the walls here, forcing to play for a reverse sweep? Well, we're going to find out in a couple of minutes here, and then from there, we'll see from that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we will have to see. That's the greatest thing. It's just sort of a wait and see. Once all these selections come through, it is just how we're going to play it. I find it really funny that Route 66 is what got selected, but Servos was playing behind us like normally. I just find that funny for some reason. Don't know why. But yeah, it's going to certainly be an interesting one here, especially on Route, right? When you think of a lot of the compositions, there's a lot of long sight lines. Your hit scan can normally take over the game on most of the points here, obviously. Something like a Lurking Tracer or Sombra can still find its value here, but regardless of what the DPS picks end up being, there is going to be a lot of emphasis on the DPS simply being able to be a bit of a powerhouse.
Yes, we are loading in Deadlock Propane. Is that a front for the Deadlock gang? What do you think?
I
Odds?
can't really call it a front when they have their name brand on it, you know what I mean?
Like, that's happens like all the time in like comic books though, right? Like Rupert Thorne from Batman the Animated Series, I think he had something called the Rose or something. Some like restaurant called the Rose, and that's just the most obvious thing in the world, right? So you can't trust evil doers. They're not original.
Well, they just simply want named credit, you know?
Yeah,
Maybe they're getting like some good tax benefits from the propane and stuff, but that's going to have to be something that Ash can settle with, who isn't going to be played at the moment at least. Just a nice little cheeky Widow angle here for the time being from Fastest Car. Very hyper-aggressive dive comp, I want to say. Razor and Jantisaur are going to be wanting to get aggressive here. That way they have tons of space for Fastest Car on the Widow to play from.
Yeah, it's now... We're going to see if Fastest Car can get that opening that they desperately need with that Widowmaker. Or is it going to just be a wasted pick? They're already getting some good damage in, but we'll have to find out. As Frosty Philly is going to find Paradox out, and that should be another nice opening pick for DhillDucks already, as they're going to keep pushing forward, and Chantisaur on this Winston, making all the space that DhillDucks need right now.
Yeah, DhillDucks on the attack here. I promise the icon at your screen will flip in a moment here, but yeah, just being able to do whatever anyone else does best here. It's just, again, this hyper aggression, being able to hold forward and do exactly what it does. But Milton finding Razor could be the good start of a defense.
Yeah, good opening for Milton, right? But almost landed up that shot perfectly, but that anti-nade coming in from Juice is going to be huge. You do lose him in the end, though, so Milton's still on the hunt, still in the back lane. Now Fastest Car is going to follow, and Zexio pushing it forward to get control back for YE Snowfall.
And again, it's about holding space for YE Snowfall, right? That's why you see Fastest Car already have to switch off of the Widowmaker over to the Tracer now to try to enable the hyper aggression here. And with Milton missing from the fight, again, Zexio's going to have to commit a lot of resources just to stay alive on this point.
Now we go into this fight, and Chantisaur is already down. Amp Matrix out from Blossoms, setting the table. Now the Terra Surge, though, comes in. It's going to help combine, take down Frosty Philly, and now we're down to under 2 minutes on the board.
Under 2 minutes. Oh, Milton slept up. Oh, the Winston's coming. There's just... Oh, beautifully timed Suzu, though. And quickly flips it up with the Pulse as well here. That's beautiful for Milton to live here, but unfortunately no pick secured from it.
As now they go in to this next. We're going to see here now. Nano Boost comes in on the Chantisaur. Into the back line they go. Looking to take down these supports, and Blossom going already. That should really set the table for this point capture, but haven't found many more picks that you were hoping for off the back of that Nano Boost. But now you lose Paradox. Zexio falls. Milton is going to find a pick, but it looks like it's just going to be a consolation prize. The point is going to be unlocked.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Juice in this composition just simply has the job of living long enough to take Milton's attention, right? Because it's almost like it's just a prize in a cereal box for the Tracer. Milton's going to constantly be trying to find and harass this Ana, simply taking Juice out of the fight as often as possible here. And, you know, the longer Milton is taking to remove an Ana from the fight, it's longer the Tracer's not on everybody else.
So now you're going to try to keep it going already. There's Primal Rage, not Nano Boost. What am I talking about? Primal Rage in the back line. Looks going to be able to take down Raven. You might be able to find more as Milton's so low. Going to get taken down. Good Primal Rage in by Chantosaur. Keep things going in the way of DhillDucks. You're probably going to get around this corner before a real fight breaks out.
I mean, around this corner, you're going to just be able to keep the payload moving here. It's going to be potentially even Desperation Touch from Milton or somebody else to try to live. But, oh, that sleep is disgusting.
Because now they come in into this fight already now. And they're going to see if they can keep this going as there's a Kitsune Rush out from Fastest Car. And, well, sorry, Fastest Car is down. Frosty Philly dropped that Kitsune Rush. Now the Dragon Blade into the back line. Sleep Dark trying to come out. The Blossom felled out here. Tremolin is going to try to turn it around. Razor is going to fall. Now another one bites the dust, and a couple more picks come into YE Snowfall's favor. And, well, they hold them at the doors.
Again, it's the payload within 5 meters, but the defense finally is able to stand tall and deliver something good here. DhillDucks have tapped out pretty much their entire ult. Oh my goodness, bless me. Has tapped out their ult bank besides this Nano Boost here, so unless Juice can find a lot of value with a Nano Winston here, this should be Snowfall to keep on holding.
We'll have to see as Fastest Car is going to get taken down now. And then Banana Boost is going to come in, and Raven's going to get taken back to spawn. So now things are looking good from DhillDucks. So we're going to see if they can keep it going their way. But now Nano Boost in response, Blossom going to take him back. And now Ezekiel is going to be on the run with the horse and takes down Frosty Philly. Another pick comes in the way of YE Snowfalls. They're in control of this cart yet again.
They're firmly in control here, and again, it's just the trade of the Nano Boost here, so Snowfall being able to keep their ult economy for the time being here, both these DPS having it as well as the Terra Surge here. As long as they don't stack all of these ultimates before final fight, they should have an open advantage here. The dive is staging, though. Looking for the opportunity to come through now is DhillDucks.
Terra Surge in from Zaxiel. Now, not going to find the pick. There's the Pulse Bomb out, and Zaxiel is going to get followed up by Fastest Car afterwards. Chantosaur and Primal Rage, but Fastest Car's found another one. Milton's down for the count. You know, it looks like this should bring DhillDucks to the promised land of point number 3, and it is indeed 2 minutes to go on the board.
Oh my goodness. Like, again, it's just in these clutch situations, DhillDucks, they seem to have this just unstoppable clutch power. It's constantly enough to get them over the line time and again here. Snowfall's going to be able to get the cleanup in this next fight now here. But again, you've added more time to the bank, so it's just simply another reset for DhillDucks here as they get ready for their fight that they want to take.
As we're going to see, both support ults are in. Kitsune Rush is going to start it off, though, from Paradise. As going to come in there, Dragon Blade out, and that should help him in the long run. Paradox down. His Razor is going to get felled out, though, but still the picks are coming in from DhillDucks to keep it going their way. It is going to keep going in the favor of DhillDucks.
Going to continue doing what it does best here, which is just living and existing in throughout these fights. Snowfall is trying to again establish a defense here, but the longer these sightlines are, no longer do you have that Sojourn. Instead, trying to rely on the Torbjorn to stunt this hyper dive. It's going to be difficult.
Okay, well, you find Fastest Car out, so that's going to open it up, and now you might be able to find Frosty Philly too. Gonna get healed up though. Juice is going to be there with the hailings, but well, are they going to be able to keep it going? 30 seconds to go. Terra Surge available. Pulse Bomb 2. But Kitsune Rush is the deal breaker.
It's more than just the deal breaker here. It's going to be such a great factor for DhillDucks here as the Primal Rage now going in, trying to focus on the Sana.
Yeah, and it's gonna already found 2. Raven down, Blossom down, but you need to find more. Terra Surge in from Zexiel. It is gonna find Juice. Pulse Bomb did come through. Fastest car, Paradox gonna fall. Frosty Billy needs to stay alive, but Milton's gonna be able to find that pick. So now things are looking really good for YE Snowfall to keep this hold going. Not gonna be able to complete all 3 points. Now the Nano Boost gonna come out onto Milton and seal the deal. 2 picks already coming in. That should be that. Overtime going away as DhillDucks stopped on the doorstep of point number 3.
Yeah, they finally are able to stop this from being capped all the way here, but it's pretty damn far for a push. It's pretty damn far, should I say myself here. But now looking for how this attack's going to have to go. Again, it's going to be about that scaling and about the dive here. Obviously, if they're going to see it run still for DhillDucks on the defense here, being able to be hyper aggressive on the defense can make it very difficult to continue piloting this Orisa comp. You might have to match the dive, even if you don't have your fan favorite dive character to sort of match and mirror what's going to be coming at you.
Yeah, as we're going to be loading in yet again. It looks like Zexiel is going to keep the Orisa in the back pocket for now, for their attack, because Razor's going to be pulling back out that the Pharah now, and it's going to, well, help them for the time being, because, well, Raven's on that Tracer. Milton's going to be going over to the Genji.
Yeah, and over to the Genji here again. Maybe it's just a matter of Raven not being as comfortable, but again, just sort of a time will tell situation when you're playing this with the Orisa. It's going to make you such a stationary target. No speed boost either in sight for either team here. Means that these anti-nades and the cleanses that are going to have to follow them is incredibly careful.
Yeah, as we're about to find out, is Razor going to be able to keep it going their way, or a nice shot comes in. Wasn't able to take Raven off the side of the map, as they're going to be able to teleport or blink back on to high ground. As now you're going to drop right onto Blossom. Goomba stomp him to Oblivion. Razor might get caught here. Now healing is going to be there now. Fastest car looking for more picks, and that should be some more picks coming in their way, and Milton's down for the count, and looks like trying to retreat back to spawn. Ravens make that swap over to the Sojourn.
I mean, yeah, so swap over to the Sojourn now, much more standard here. Give Milton back reins on the Tracer for the Tracer duel here, but you're going to have to be incredibly careful once again here for how this fight's going to break down, especially when you're playing with a Baptiste, such a diveable target.
As now we're gonna go into this fight looking for an opening with this Pharah already. As rotating around, Milton's gonna find an opening. Pulse Bomb did come through. It's gonna take down the Immortality Field, but Milton's still ever present, looking to take down Shantasaur. It's gonna be Raven getting that kill, and another one bites the dust coming in from YE Snowfalls. Milton finds another one with the back smack as YE Snowfall are on the doorstep of point 1.
Yeah, on the doorstep here, they do have to actually get it over the line. And again, this dive, it needs to be sort of focusing down onto either Blossom or Zexiel here, and they're not doing that. So giving, Snowfall these opportunities, these moments to exist is going to be great.
Now they come into this next engagement, and they've already found a pick onto him as Blossom's down, Barrage in. While we're taking that fight and winning the fight, the point's going to go to YE Snowfall.
Yeah, certified C9. Congratulations. We've had one in both open matches today. That's absolutely what you love to see for a grand finals.
That's the second one in the series, Megalas.
There's been, there has been 2 in this series. You're right. Listen, there was like 3 or 4 in EU Open earlier today. These teams do not know what an objective is. All they know is how to shoot each other in a very effective manner. But Snowfall seems to be doing it a little bit more effective right now.
Yeah, a little bit more indeed. Is 3 minutes 40 on the board for this. A nice opening here, though, from DhillDucks to come back into this and try to get this hold back in their favor, back into their favor of the cart. As We're gonna have to see if yeah, it's just gonna be YE Snowfall backing up.
Backing up for the time being, simply taking their time and taking the fight in the proper way that they want to. No shame in that. You're going to have dueling Kitsune rushes for the next fight. Chantosaur can get a little bit more aggressive knowing that they have the Primal Rage. A beautiful anti trying to look for a kill does not end up securing anything there. As again, Snowfall is just having to wait.
Yeah, they're gonna try to wait it out. Nice javelin from Zaxiel there. This is going to buy some time, buy some space for YE Snowfall. Kitsune Rush is now gonna be dueling on the point. Is Primal Rage going to get someone pretty low? Paradox very low, gonna have to teleport away, but they're still gonna be felled out by the Primal Raging Monkey. Chancellor is gonna have to jump away as their Primal Rage is now gone, but DhillDucks are buying time on the board. Now Milton's felled.
Yeah, and with Milton falling here, again, it's going to be Snowfall stuck waiting once again here, and waiting is just phenomenal for the far right. Razor gets to just spam any and all corridors that Snowfall attempts to walk through here, just spamming with rockets, but Exio gets one on the Frothy Philly. That should not happen.
Yeah, that should not happen at all. As down the Amp Matrix comes in from Blossom, trying to take down Juice for the moment. Gonna have to walk away, but you're gonna get taken down by Chantosaur is gonna get taken down there. Now Razor's found a trade. 2 minutes to go on the board. Now the cart's moving yet again.
The cart moving forward, trying to see what can be found. Snowfall, now that they actually have positioning again, they do have these EPS ults to work with, can be mirrored on the other side though. I think the biggest thing to watch out for is making sure Razor doesn't make it rain, and that's a good way to stop it.
It is indeed, and now Pulse Bomb out from Milton too, but they're gonna get taken down by the anti-nade from Juice. And now you're gonna look to take him in a long-range snipe. Comes in, Chantosaur takes down Blossom, but still on the point. Juice is gonna fall. Still an opportunity. Pulse Bomb in. Zaxiel super low. Gonna get that Suzu to stay alive, but you're still getting chased down. Taken down goes Zaxiel. Another one bites the dust from fastest car. Down to 1 minute and 10 on the board.
Just a minute 10 left here, potentially in this matchup. Still holding this barrage, waiting to find opportunities to use it here. I mean, you can just honestly hover over one of these tunnel doors and just let it rip whenever you please, but no, Razor's going to play a little bit more safe than that. Just simply play the long sight line and probably look for a mid-fight barrage.
Raven really low, gonna get healed back up after that anti-nade as well. Razor finds 2 with a 1. It's a 2-for-1 special for DhillDucks right now, as they're gonna be able to keep things going. Frothy Philly finds out Zaxiel, 30 seconds to go, and nothing on the board for YE Snowfall.
Nothing on the board here. Is going to be now the switch over to the Wrecking Ball here, trying to create some space, but it's going to be incredibly difficult. Again, dueling Kitsune rushes, and this Primal is going to allow Chantosaur to do just that and just get super aggressive. Somebody's got to make their way to the payload.
Yeah, and they've already lost Paradox here, and you might lose some more, as that should finish it off. The picks just keep coming up red, and that should finish it off with the barrage. Zaxiel falls, and it's up 3-2 for DhillDucks.
3-0 right now, 1 map away from securing the CGL NA Open Championship here. A top 8 team for a reason. This team, every time you think you find a weakness, every time you think you find an opening, they just adapt and look even stronger than they did before here. This last play here from Razor getting exactly what it needed to, but now with Route 66, Blizzard World, Samoa all falling out of your hands, you're left with both Push and Flashpoint, and I hate to break it to you if you are YE Snowfall, but so far, Flashpoint, it's been a very brawl-centric mode, and the brawl has not been your strong suit.
It definitely hasn't. But again, right, with Flashpoint and Push, you can still really change the tide of things pretty easily. It is all very momentum-based. So if you can start off strong, especially if it's a push, and get that get those early forward spawns, right, you can kind of just sit on your laurels, and if you just can continue to win those fights, right, which we've seen YE Snowfall be capable of doing, they could in fact steal a map and get us to a 3-1 series.
Yeah, and at this point, that's what you have to do. You need to take it one map at a time. You can't let the overwhelming odds of realizing, oh, we have to reverse sweep, because that's too much pressure, and that's how you crack and sort of scramble yourselves before you even give yourselves a proper chance, right? It's just got to be what's directly in front of you right now, which is this next map looming. You have your choice between push and flashpoint. You can realistically go to the maps that are in the pool this time of those either of those modes here, and honestly, it's going to be one to watch out for this election. It is actually going to be Flashpoint. The Suravasa is chosen here. And this indicates that Snowfall, they have confidence in actually taking a little bit more of this brawl fight, seeing if they can actually change their fate.
We'll have to find out, right, as we're going to now see what the bans are going to be. I'm interested to see if we see an Orisa ban from YE Snowfall here. Something along those lines, maybe force the Ramatra again, or the Mauga from them. From there, well, it's only a matter of time, and they do have the first ban, and we'll find out about 30 seconds or so for what they're going to decide with. But that Orisa could definitely be something we see. It's already been banned by DhillDucks, but doesn't mean YU Snowfall can't do it themselves.
No, it doesn't in the slightest here. That's the thing. The bans are once per each team, so seeing a double up would not be surprising in the slightest here to take that Orisa out of the fray. But no, instead they're going to finally target the Kiriko and decide, no, I want this to be a bit more of a standard with either the Juno Brig or the rare but real Juno Lucio here. Taking that Kiri out of the fight, I think, is completely valid take here. Frothy Philly has been disgusting on that hero, as we know that he can be, and overall it's a good shout, but now that leaves DhillDucks with a amazing decision here of who they get to ban.
I wonder if we get to see the legendary Frothy Philly Moira now that the Kiriko is banned, but we'll have to find out as maybe a Sojourn ban. Raven's been really good on that Sojourn, make them go on to something like that Tracer again, or an Ashe, but you're not gonna run an Ashe on this. So it's gonna force a less optimal DPS lineup if you ban this Sojourn. I'd have to assume, but we'll see that if that's going to be the case, and if it even is a Sojourn ban.
Yeah, I mean. But no, it's not the Sojourn. It's instead the Mauga here. This is a good shout if you're expecting to run either the Orisa or the Ramatra, right? This sort of takes that option of the Mauga off the table here. Some can see it as a little bit of cheese where you're not able to counter it as well, especially with no cleansing Suzu to be able to get rid of those burns that Mauga loves to apply with the miniguns. It's actually a fairly solid pick here for the ban. But that being said, I'm expecting probably more of the Orisa. Like, the Ramatra is more standard, yes, but these teams have seemed to have just favored the Orisa all night long.
Yeah, definitely. I'd have to agree with you. It's going to probably stick with the Orisa, but Ramatra, definitely an option indeed. But it's all on the line here, Mega Lass. They've got to pull it out here on Suravasa if you're YE Snowfall. Or, well, the season's over. Season's over either way, and if it's a 4-0 or it's a 4-1 or something other than 4-0, right? It's all on the line now.
It's all on the line. Snowfall, if you had any reservations, anything holding you back, now is the time to throw it away. You've got nothing left to lose at this point besides the championship. DhillDucks, this is just another day in the office for them so far here. They've been tested, but they're coming out ahead every single time. And I don't realistically see a way that they're going to falter of their own accord. It's going to have to be Snowfall finding some way to get the sling going and fire off a stone or two at this Goliath and really make them question what they're doing.
There they are. There's Peter.
Well, it's automated. It's like future tech and stuff, you know? I mean, maybe it's like a ferrying boat. It's got to go like back and forth, and nobody was coming one way, so it just had to go back, check on everybody here in Saravasa. But who knows? That'll be something that the future Overwatch lore keepers can inform us on. Instead, Snowfall not going to be opting for the Orisa here. Instead, they are piloting the Diva with a double speed boost. I really hope this means Zexiel is going to get down and dirty with the aggression and match Milton's tempo.
Yeah, they kind of just have to, right? Milton has just been the driving force for YE Snowfall throughout this series. You just need to be able to follow up, and there's an already nice pick on the Frothy Philly, right? Another pick comes in, and Shantasaur's back in the spawn, and well, that should start off well, but now you've lost Milton and Raven, but it should still be YE Snowfall taking first control.
Yeah, first control for it now. Razor still lingering in this fight, seeing if any value can be found. Chantasaur going to be going over to the Wrecking Ball now. It's an interesting one because now this just makes Frothy Philly look incredibly out of place, but as the fight's continuing, Blossom seems to have it well under control.
Yeah, they're doing really well. Fastest card down again, and see here, Chantasaur's made the swap over to the Wrecking Ball. And now, let's see if that's going to help them out, help keep things going. Is still rocking it out, still rocking in. They're trying to get things over. Pulse Bomb out from Milton, not going to find anything, and they're going to fall to start things off. Now, I mean, Blossom's trying to juke and jive away, but Fastest Car is going to get that last word in, and they're going to get taken down. There's going to be the self-destruct into a remax for him as well, but the car coming through from DhillDucks to take back the point.
Yeah, being able to take back this point. Now DhillDucks in control of it here. They have that Pulse Bomb to work with. Wait a little while. They're going to be able to use this Dragon Blade as well here. These DPS can really come alive. But that being said, Snowfall on the approach here, looking for a little bit more.
Slam in now. Out goes Raven, trying to stay alive. So is Shantasaurus. They're going to get body block taken down. Pulse Bomb in. Not going to find anything from that. From Fastest Car now. Rally in. Sound Barrier comes through. And Paradox, the Ajax comes in from Razor dashing through. You are going to lose him, though. In the end, though, Zexiel is going to fall down. And now Orbital Ray is going to come back in. You're going to be able to try to come through into this. You might be able to do it. As another pick comes in. Frothy Philly's down. So is Juice. You're going to look to keep it going. Overclock still in from Raven, and that's going to fall away, but not the point, as it's still up on the DhillDucks. Favorite point is going to go over now to YE Snowfall.
Yeah, Chantasaur getting out of that literally with just a sliver of HP. Going to be able to recontest this point now with plenty of time, and the minefield to boot.
So now they come in. Chantasaur is low. Minefield's in, but Paradox is down. That should... No, Razor's going to fall, but the point looks like it's going to go back into the favor of DhillDucks yet again.
Yeah, DhillDucks having this flip here. Somebody's got to make their way to touch, and it seems like the touch comes through at the last second. Milton's Pulse Bomb only onto the amp and the Immortality Field.
You do lose Juice, though, but Blossom's really low. Gonna get healed back up. Pulse Bomb out, but Fastest Car is down. Still, it looks really good right now for YE Snowfall. They don't really have staying power as DhillDucks, but it's just as I say that, Blossom and Raven get taken out, and now DhillDucks can come back in as Axial is going to get taken down. Razor is felled as well to get back into this point. She's still got to hold it out as Paradox is going to get felled out, still trying to hold on Milton, looking for the kill, looking for the assassination, and we still keep it going the way of them. DhillDucks are going to be able to take this first flashpoint.
Yeah, and I mean, DhillDucks' composition, it looks so odd, and just being realistic here, Snowfall should not be allowing Frothy Philly to live. The fact that this BAP is living for any extended amount of time is a failure of Snowfall and how they're playing the game. Not anything in particular that Frothy Philly is doing. Don't get me wrong, this BAP has great positioning. It doesn't matter how great your positioning is on BAP, realistically, you should be falling over time and again into this Diva dive. But it seems like the rest of Snowfall is just not on the same page, ready to sync up and remove this threat from the fight.
I mean, it's also a really good testament of how well Juice is keeping their backline alive. They've already lost fastest guard, though. Now Orbital Ray comes in this tight little room in the middle of that minefield as well. Point is going to be propped up, though, taken by YE Snowfall. You do lose Raven. That looks like just going to be a consolation prize in the grand scheme of things here. So now you have to rotate out if you're DhillDucks.
Yeah, rotating out, and finally Snowfall is able to sort of get themselves some sort of foothold here, take the chaos out of the fight, at least for the moment. DhillDucks is going to have a swap here, Shantasaur off of the Wrecking Ball over to the Hazard here, a little bit more standard, but realistically, it's not going to be as easy to jump onto all of these members, so we'll have to see exactly how this Hazard plans to deep in and engage with the team.
Now you've already lost Juice, right? And now we'll have to see if they're going to keep it going yet again. As Amp Matrix did come through, but Frothy Phillies felled, and now things are turning back to YE Snowfall's favor. Shantasaur's made the swap over to the Hazard, but things are still going up YE Snowfall.
Yeah. They finally have found some footing in this competition. DhillDucks, again, making more swaps. You have the Ramatra in play now, trying to see if maybe that can be the difference maker here. But is anybody going to be able to make it over to the point? It seems like it's going to have to be a Tracer blink.
Yeah, as they're going to get the touch from Shantasaur is playing Mystery Heroes. Now they're on to the Ramatra. His Paradox is going to go down. Another pick comes through, and well, DhillDucks might have finally found their stride for this last point, or this last fight here. But Zexiel falls out like that. They're going to force their recontest with a remake, though. Still an opportunity, though, for DhillDucks to keep it going their way, but losing Razor like that, point still available for both teams. And now we're going to keep going in for this fight. Overclock in from Raven to seal the deal. Could be all you need. Shantasaur is down, and that should be the beginning of the end of this fight, with Frothy Philly falling more and more, crumbling around them. YE Snowfall have tied it up.
Tied it up in a very good spot here. One apiece now on Flashpoint. Looking towards this next fight, you're going to have, obviously, the rally from Juice here. It's going to be a nice little bit of sustain, but realistically, besides sustaining, you don't have a lot of ways that you can get aggressive with that one. While Snowfall coming into this with Blossom's Orbital Ray, that's going to be a good pushing factor for Snowfall to keep their aggression and momentum up.
Rally available here from Juice to start it off. I assume that's going to be the case. Orbital Ray now going to come in, so now you have to use that. Is you're going to get taken down? Nope, it's going to be the Immortality Field that goes to the wayside, and now we'll have to see if it keeps it going now, as the Annihilation is going to be procced up. YE Snowfall do take control to start things for this third point, but they do lose Milton in the end. You're still trying to hold on to this. The Annihilation pushes them back long enough, and now Blossom down. Frothy Philly with the shot. Now you can get super aggro if you're the rest of DhillDucks, and you're going to be able to take down Zexiel and get that lifeline away.
Yeah, and that flip is unbelievably crucial here in being able to sort of turn the tides in this fight, because now it's been point in progress that's accruing this whole time, even though Snowfall haven't had the full regroup until just a few seconds ago here. Now trying to see how they want to assault this when they're being poked from every angle. It's making it incredibly difficult for Snowfall.
Now we go into the fight, and you rally out from Paradox, but you're going to lose Blossom just like that. But on the point is a different story. You've lost a couple, but hey, it doesn't seem to have mattered, right? You're going to trade him back out. Amp Matrix is going to do its job, and you're going to keep it going your way for the time being. Milton has to force that recall. Point is going to flip back over to YE Snowfall for the moment, and now you're going to back away for the time being.
Backing away, simply waiting, biding your time to hopefully come into this next one when you're going to have the overclock here. Milton is trying to end this before it starts, but can't!
Yeah, so now we have to see, is the overclock going to take down Milton, and now up to 80% on the board. Coming back with a pulse bomb would be huge.
Yeah. And so, again, look at this. DhillDucks just calm and composed. Going to be able to stop this touch from coming through. A nice attempt at a stick there, but unfortunately the shield is ready from Juice there. And now it's just going to be more of these stagger touches trying to come through on this point.
Gonna keep it going now. So we're gonna see if Paradox is gonna fall, and it might just be done here. The Ravenous Vortex shuts down Zexiel in their place. About to be able to get up to that self-destruct, though, but the point is gonna go into DhillDucks' favor. They should continue the way. Are they gonna look to get those kills? No, they're just gonna try to get to the next point because, well, you've got the advantage now.
You've got that advantage indeed, and you're seeing how DhillDucks is willing to kite this, but not really. Like, they're more than happy to fight this here if you want to, and they're doing that with the Annihilation.
Yeah, and you're now going to force the orbital right in from the YE Snowfall to try to turn the tide of this fight, and it's going to be 2 picks to 3 in the favor of DhillDucks, and now going to force out that self-destruct to try to stay alive into the fight. You're going to get some value, but not much of it. Point is procced up here. You are going to lose Sheds, or who didn't get a little over-aggressive. Point is now going to be procced up, and YE Snowfall are going to take it yet again.
I mean, yeah, Snowfall should be able to get in here and get this, but a late rally from Juice. Does DhillDucks want to fight this without their tank?
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way Zexiel's going to be able to take them down now. And it's kind of maybe a fat finger, a little rush coming in as DhillDucks have to reset, as Frothy is going to go super low.
Yeah, incredibly low here, but Snowfall, again, they have to start digging their heels in. It cannot really give over any more flips, any more percentage here. This is going to be their final, point to hold, right? They cannot give up any more points. It will be the end of the map, end of the series for them. They have to be incredibly careful here.
Overclock kill, Milton down, and Raven's gonna try to turn the tide, but they aren't gonna be able to find anything with their OC either. Pulse Bomb did come through from Razor. Raven's down for the count, and now we're in control for DhillDucks.
In control, in the driver's seat, where this team loves to be, but they have to just be continuing to hold up with this aggression here. They're going to make Snowfall pay for every inch of map they want to walk through, and all that time it's just going to be ticking up point percentage here. Snowfall, they're running out of time, they're running out of options to deny this loss.
Now we come into this engagement, into the fight, and now they've taken Paradox down. Ravenous Vortex doing its job, and well, that's just going to force a reset out from YE Snowfall.
They have to reset. They're going to have the Orbital Ray as well as Zexiel with a Devo remech waiting in case they have to drop out, and it's already forced out.
Yeah, it's now going in here already, not looking too hot. Orbital right in. Chancellor's going to have to fully back away. But, well, you're falling in, looking to get in. Sound barrier out. You've got to find value with it. We're just speeding the Annihilation right now. And Raven is down for the count. And now we're in overtime. It could all be over here, and it seems to be the case. Point is going to get procced up, taken down. Zexiel goes. And that should just be about it with a rally in celebration. DhillDucks have the last quack in the season 15 grand finals. They take the series or nothing.
The entirety of the series, it looked like they had their foot on the gas. It was completely under their control. At no point did they look worried or necessarily even scared of what was being brought to the table. This is a team of such a high caliber that they probably didn't even think of this as a possibility of a loss. It was just theirs to take, and they do it in the full sweep fashion here. 4 maps in a row, not dropping one here. Absolutely love to see it for DhillDucks.
You love to see it. You love to see it indeed. The 4-0 sweep of the finals. Never in a doubt for them in the end, even though YE Snowfall definitely played them a lot closer than the scoreline really says, right? I mean, look at it. 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 3-1. I mean, even though you lost, you got to feel pretty good here if you're YE Snowfall. Obviously, they had a lot of... I've lost my co-caster. Where are they? They're not on the cam. There you are. You're back. You were not in frame.
It was just a little bit of a standing death situation, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. What we need to worry about is how DhillDucks, again, like you were saying, it was, there were moments of Snowfall. They were punching up, they were taking rounds, right? But unfortunately, again, it was just overwhelming odds here where DhillDucks seemed to just have the answer, had these extra layers of adaptation they could provide time and again, doing exactly what was needed. And unfortunately, Snowfall just could not adapt even further.
Yeah, really good stuff from DhillDucks. I believe we'll be heading into a break here. We're going to be bringing Frothy Philly and Baz into for an interview right after this short little break. So stick around for that. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We've got everyone here for the interview of DhillDucks. We've got Baz. We've got Frothy Philly. First off, congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. First, Baz, you worked really hard tonight. I want to say congratulations, doing a lot of work from the from the bench. Saw your
yeah, it's 3-hour shift actually. I was working pretty hard. I just got home.
Yeah. I saw on Twitch chat. You saw you're talking about your subs Chantisaur. It was really good. They played really well tonight. Do you view them as your how do you view that dynamic between you two, both being tank players?
Well, Karma's is actually our sub flex DPS.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And yeah, he just had to come in kind of last minute. We rescheduled this match.
Mm-hmm.
Our manager unfortunately rescheduled to a time where he thought we could all make it, but actually like 3 of us couldn't. I guess not really 3 of us, just a substantial amount of our roster couldn't make it, and so we had to kind of scramble it together last minute. And Karma stepped up, did real good on the tank role.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, hey, listen, stepped up. It absolutely worked out in the end here. Obviously, you know, DhillDucks, you guys got a lot of things going on. In terms of, you know, how much prep was actually able to go into looking into what Snowfall was doing. You know, was there any actual time to be able to look at and VOD your opponent, or was it sort of just coming in with your own game plan tonight?
I mean, we kind of come into every game with our own game plan. Like tonight, we had 2 people off rolling. We had Amadou and then Karma's both off rolling, but we just stick to what we do best, and we play well together. So and get our right bands too. That's important.
That's another thing I did want to mention as well. The hero bands, obviously, you know, being able to scout and know sort of exactly where you want to go with those bands. Again, that's just sort of a knowledge thing, right? So in terms of how much you guys were really expecting, right? How much would you say hero bands can really like shape a map and how things are going to go?
I mean, what map? Oh, Blizzard World, when we banned Tracer, the Milton guy is too good on Tracer. That guy just, with the aim assist, it's just playing against aimbot. But the second we remove him off Tracer, the game just gets 10 times easier. So that was one big plan.
So I want to talk about this year as a whole, right? You started, you're juggling a lot of tournaments, right? CGL, Face It, now OWCS. How do you guys stay sane playing this much Overwatch in this short of time?
Well, the funny thing is we don't scrim at all. We do not scrim at all. We just hop on like an hour before a game. We're just like, guys, what do we want to ban this game? Okay, we're playing against this team. Figure out what they play, and that's it. We just wing it, basically.
I love that. I love that. I am an avid DhillDucks Twitter follower, so I knew you guys don't you don't scrim. But before we send you guys off to go celebrate with the rest of your roster, take your time, do your shoutouts.
Well, obviously shout out Karmas and Amadou for coming in last minute. Juice too. Like, we pinged him, I think like 10 minutes before the match. We pinged him and he's like, yeah, I guess I could play. And then shout out Dust too, because Dust is our cheerleader. Nogfriend decided to remove him off the roster for some reason. I don't know why. Shout out Dust.
And on my behalf, I guess I remember I watched Losers Finals. So I mostly just watched the interview at the end. I heard them say like, DhillDucks are gonna be easy. And I remember after I heard that, I went in our general chat and I ping our manager Nogfriend. And I say, hey Nog, make sure you schedule this at a time where we have everyone, so like we can like mop this up and like really just, you know, have our way with this finals. And he decided to schedule it on a Tuesday where like I have work. Redx is like away doing something, like he's playing some other tournaments to play, and like he just cooked our schedule entirely. So shout out to Nogfriend for being a you know, a massive butthead.
Yeah.
Thank God it worked out, but
yeah. It definitely worked out 4-0 over them in the end after all that talk too. Congratulations, and you can head on out, go celebrate with the rest of your roster, you two.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
I mean, yeah, that it was kind of karma in the end for all that talk from YE Snowfall. Things are not ending here, though, right, Megalast? We've still got another matchup heading to you in about 10 minutes' time. Sort of skilled versus Shubal Nation with Mott and to Try Hard Array casting that at you. We are going to end the stream quite quickly, right? So we can get over to that game for you here on the main channel. But before we head out of here, right, we got to say some thank yous to Time Delay, Tamara, and Bakery on the back end of things. And other than that, it's been me, Joker, her Megalast. Thank you guys all for watching. Thank you all for being here throughout season 15. We're going to be signing off for the last time for us to still stick around for that last grand finals in the in 10 minutes time. Thank you all for watching wherever you are in the world. Have a wonderful rest of your day.